Now, this is a cheeky one because it is actually still Friday, but I didn't want this to go into last week's video because there was enough in it. So I have managed to get the weeder working. I've managed to swap all the bolts out on it, so they are nice new shiny modern bolts. I've tried to save the old-fashioned square bolts as much as I could, but unfortunately some of them did end up having to get let's say butchered to get it apart. So at which point I've managed to open up the cutting wheels on it, which has allowed me to weed this area. Now obviously I hear you, hang on, let me, I'm just doing an upload on something else as well, multitasking, who knew that would happen. I hear you say there are still weeds here. Yes, there are still weeds, but most of the weeds are either going to be sitting in the bottom of the gap in between, so where my feet are, they're weeds. So this is, the soil has been thrown in over the top of the grass, and also weeds will be in the row because the weeder I have got is not a in the row weeder, it is a between the row weeder. Very simple. You've seen it before, but it's two sets of discs, one runs down each side with a wheel which kind of keeps it centered. This is a lovely crop of rocket and it tastes absolutely spectacular. Oh wow, the flavour on that is phenomenal. It doesn't look great, but it's getting better. Wow, I still need to eat some of that for my tea. So yes, we have managed to weed this, which is brilliant. That gives me such a good feeling. I did try to weed the parsnips over there and might have accidentally cut some of the parsnips in half with it. It didn't do that bit very well, but it's done here, so we're all right. I have managed to run it over the carrots up at the far side, which has made them look spectacular. In fact, I will walk over there. You don't need to see me walk over there. I will walk over there in a minute. We do have, as I was going over with the weeder, it was allowing me to have a good look at what's actually in the rows, because you've got to do it really slow and I've got to make sure that the weeder, the weeder's also dug up and kind of cut a potato. So we'll save that one for later. So these rows here don't have anything in them. This one has not even been drilled. These are still what the ridger makes. This is then our turnip patch here. There's more down there, don't worry. It is terrible compared to last year. Last year we had thousands of the things and we couldn't do anything with them. And this year they've just not grown. So it's kind of like a boom and bust with them. Hopefully next year we'll get it right. So what I might do is turn over these rows here. I'll bring the rotavator down or the power harrow down and just get rid of them, and then, oh actually no, because there's turnips in, so I'll get rid of that section and then I can plant something else in there. I have just, that's what I was trying to upload, a question for what people would like me to grow. So if you're on the Isle of Man, obviously I appreciate your suggestions from far afield, but obviously I can't provide it for you, so I would feel really bad if you asked me to grow something and I couldn't give it to you. So if you are on the Isle of Man, dump it in the comments, let us know what veggies you would like us to grow. If it's something which can be grown outside without a polytunnel, or we might even have a polytunnel next year, who knows. I hope we do. Once these lots sell, I'm hoping that gives us enough to get a polytunnel. So then, yeah, let us know what kind of things would you like, what veggies, what makes you tick. Obviously we've got some things, I've just put in a load of different stuff. We've got peas, we've got beans now, lettuces, I've just put in some chard which can go late. I've got cabbages and kale to go in this winter. So we've got a bit of all sorts coming up, but let me know, bang it in the comments. It helps us as well if you do comment on the video, that's really good for us. And we can see what we can do. So I'm going to walk across there, so I shall see you in a minute. And I was over there and I'm now here. So as you can now see, you can see rows of carrots. I did have a few moments where I kind of, something stuck to the bottom of the magnet, where I did kind of like wreck the row a little bit, but once I managed to get it going and get a little bit speed up, it did manage to work and pull the soil in like it's doing here, which is then, if I spin you around gently, sorry, obviously there is still a few weeds in here, you know, couch grass in there, but I'm not too worried about that. Look at that, that's basically what it's done, absolutely perfect. you know, ridged in the middle. Same on that side. Keeps the weeds out of the way. It did get a bit tougher up there where we had the big trouble with the thistles, but I had been through here with the strimmer the other night, so it's kind of done, and stuff is growing. No, you know stuff's growing. Stuff's been growing for a long time. So that makes things a bit easier. I can definitely see what I'm harvesting. The parsnips are just going to do their own thing until we've had a frost, which is a ridiculous amount of time away, to be honest. To even think about frosts at this time of year is daft. So there is carrots in on this side of me as well, or there is up there. They're not here, so that must have been where I ran out in the seed drill. So I think I went up and back down. Oh, another potato. Look at that, absolutely fantastic. So right, okay, this is where we had the accident. So this is the bit that's been left. That's the bit that's been cut off. Unfortunately, the carrots are in the bit which has been cut off. So some of the carrots have got cut in half. So we'll pick them out and we'll get them harvested, at which point you don't need to see all that. So yeah, see you later. Nice and bright and early on a Saturday, and just look at the weather. Look at that. There is sun. I'm just stood behind the trees. Look at that. Fantastic. Absolutely amazing weather. And I think we have our first pumpkins, which are actually squashes, but a lot of pumpkins are squashes. So let me just stick it back up there. These should be ready. Now, from the research I've just done, because this didn't even work in my head that these might be ready early, is if you could push your thumbnail in at the top easily, which you can with this. So I've got a few of them down there. I'm just going to cut this one open and see what it's like inside, and see if it looks like it should do. Now you see, that's still very light, so I'm not sure. It smells like a watermelon. Don't know, I expected that to be an orange flesh inside, not a white flesh. So it did say if they're soft at the top, they're ready to harvest. Now these might be a bit more like courgette style, because these ones aren't actually as dark as some of the other ones. So I'll grab a different one. I've got a collection down there which I've harvested, but I needed a basket to put them in. So I'll have a look and we'll see, because if we can start getting some of them out, that'd be absolutely amazing, wouldn't it? Obviously, sunflowers going out, got loads of produce. Look at the back of the pickup. It's chocker full. Potatoes, carrots, lettuce. There is some spinach, which I'm not overly impressed with, but I thought I'd take it and see if the people in the know, who are the ones using it, are interested in it and not. So we'll go from there. See you in a minute. How you doing? Monday, it is 1 o'clock. Let me just get turned around. We have got the grain dryer up, which you'll see in a second. Oh, it's leaking. So grain dryer's off behind us. It was going to be underneath that barn, but we couldn't get the roof wasn't high enough, and we haven't had chance to get the roof lifted, so we just pulled it out just to try and get this grain dried. So it's a mad dash to try and get it filled in not too long, and then we can at least try and get it dry today before chucking that into a trailer, because obviously if it's outside and it rains, it's not going to be very dry, is it? So yeah, other than that, Southern Show over the weekend, that was quite good, went down. Weather turned a bit, so we ended up abandoning it because of the weather, but had a good look around there. It's not as big as the Royal Show, definitely not as big as any of the shows in the UK, so we so we just need to concentrate on that bit. The plastic sheet is falling down. So yeah, me and my youngest went down there, had a good look round, did a runner as soon as it started raining before we got absolutely soaked, because that wouldn't have been very good fun. Yeah, so all in, decent weekend, doing a lot of stuff on the garden. Now down here, produce wise at the field, they've actually harvested the crop next to us, so that's all gone now. So hopefully I can try and kind of creep into there, that'll be good. But then we've had all sorts of bits and pieces out. The lettuce that I planted the other day on the 25th has started showing, so it's now the 31st. So that's really good. You know, that's 6 days, and you can see that the whole length of the line as well. So happy, happy, happy. So I'll just get this loaded in, and then we'll catch up later. Afternoon. Just thought I'd show you this bit whilst I'm up here. So this is the very top of the dryer. Just having a few issues with this flap, and this is one of the unloading chutes. So this one we are not using because it's actually a bit bent. That's more bent than it should be. So the trouble is it's leaking, which is causing it to lose grain out that side, and it is a sizable amount. So climb up the ladder on the outside onto this ladder here. Yeah, that is grain in the bottom, and then I'm standing over onto there. So we're just gonna, the bolt has come off that one, so just gonna try and bolt it, which should hopefully keep that upright. So you've got to make sure everything's isolated when we're up here, so there's no way the PTO could come on. The tractor's not even running. That's a telehandler running down there, you can hear. So when this is working, this auger spins, lifts the grain up out of it, drops down here, and that's the cycle. Now this chamber, this mesh below my feet here, that's the plenum chamber. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but that's how it's spelt. So when we've got it on, once the grain's got over the top of that, we'll turn the burner on, and that produces hot air, and it's that constant fall of the grain over the top of that hot chamber, which gets to, I think it's 180 degrees C in there. So there's a lot of heat in here when the burner's going, and then that slowly dries the grain, which is pretty cool. There's two temperature sensors. There's one inside the plenum chamber, there's one testing the temperature of the grain going past. So when the temperature of the grain gets to a certain point, it cuts out, because then it's said to be dry, and then it goes through a cooling cycle, and then we unload it using these. So these are just basically a trapdoor to a spout, which then goes, let me see, you can see it there, and then we park a trailer underneath that. So yeah, welcome to the world of a grain dryer. And it is dusty, it is horrible, and when it's running it is noisy, so all the fun. So right, now the dryer is actually running, you can see it. So I was just up in there, you see the grain spilling out of the top of the auger. So we've got a hopper here, which is a new solution because we can't get to it properly. Fill it through, loading auger, goes up, spills down, and then drops onto it. I have just lit the burner, so that's what's producing the heat, which is then taken by a big fan and blown through the grain. Very dusty, very noisy. So possibly the worst weather you could be trying to dry grain outside in is rain, because the moisture's really high anyway. But the burner is that ferocious in them, it has actually dried it. So it's just running through its cooling cycle now. We've got a trailer hiding in the barn ready to go. Once it's cool, which won't take too long because there's a fair bit of air blowing through it now. So it's at 14.9%, which will then kind of like bounce back up to like 15.3. So that's all right. Everything in, we've not gone quite as full as we should do because there's a hole on the far side in the mesh. So we didn't want to spill over any more than we did with that leaky spout. So we'll bring the trailer around in a minute and get this unloaded, and then get it hidden in a barn, and hopefully the rain stops. I'm going to follow these chickens down here. They're not my chickens, they belong to the farm. Well, I don't think they actually belong to anyone. I think they live at the farm, let's say it that way. So raining again, as you can guess. It is the second part of the video should be just going out. Now, as I was saying, on Friday afternoon, when I did that little short video just earlier you've seen, we got the weeder done and working. So now you can see how much better it looks on the lines. So much better in between the lines. I am hoping I can kind of keep trying to run over it because it doesn't take too long now. Oh wow, rocket's doing really well at this end. So yeah, all sorts of bits and pieces are growing. I just posted up on social media that the start of the lettuce, which we planted last Tuesday, is coming up now. Let me just go find it. Not this end, but this stuff went in later. This last kind of 10 metres went in after it. And there might be a bit of stuff there. Can never get over how good that's all looking. And the sunflowers, look at all the sunflowers. Not really sent many sunflowers out yet this week, but they should hopefully be kind of like picking up over the next couple of days. Again, obviously it's not really great sunflower weather, and there is a field growing sunflowers of Pick Your Own, which is not too far away, so I think that's kind of made a bit of a dent into what we were doing. But you know, everyone needs a share. You know, it wasn't just us doing it exclusively. We started doing it up north when someone was doing it down south as well, so you know, no different to that. But here we have tiny little lettuce plants there, another one there, really small one there. So they're all the stuff that we put in on Tuesday last week, which is great. That's 6 days, so it's 7 to 14 days normally for lettuce to show. So the fact that that's showing at 6 days is brilliant. Hopefully that kind of comes through fairly quick and matures quickish, because we've kind of got now a queue of people wanting things, which is like a little bit scary that suddenly we've now gone to a point of there being lots of different people wanting stuff. Not too much signs of things to, there's few there. These are a little deeper, I think, here. I sowed these slightly differently. I have decided what I think I need. Something coming up there, all the way along there, that looks like carrots, is a whiteboard or something, so I can actually just like record what's where in the field, because it's so hard to remember what we've put in. Now, I do use an app on the phone, which is alright for recording a job for the whole field, but to actually go down to row level is really difficult, you know, just because we're growing on such small scale of 30 to 40 centimetres apart that there's different stuff growing. So going to try and look for a whiteboard or something which I think will allow me to kind of manage that a bit better. But it is looking really good with the lines here now. You can definitely see them. That line of lettuce is doing really well. That's going to start coming up and be as big as the stuff over there in not very long. Looking forward to this winter lettuce that I've put in coming up. I'm going to try and sow that over a couple of days, a couple of weeks, so we try and get a longer supply of that. If it's good, I'll find some more seed of it. Pumpkin plants really are looking fantastic. Look along there now, you can barely see the gap between them ones. And much the same with the parsnips. You know, obviously there is some gaps in the parsnips where there isn't any parsnips, but really nice and healthy, decent height on it. Just gonna have a wander up through the pumpkins now, and if I find anything interesting, I'll bring you along for the ride. I am absolutely amazed at how the wildflower area is looking. This is absolutely stunning. Not much activity going on today because, to be honest, the weather's naff, but sunflowers are still yet to flower down here. But all the way down this edge, definitely looks the part. Really good. That's going to be attracting all sorts of bits of wildlife and hopefully produce plenty of seed for the birds and stuff at the end of the year. For the people who are worrying about, oh, memory low, need to delete some stuff. For the people who are worrying about the turnips, here we are. We do have some turnips growing. They're getting a nice size on them already. They are few and far between, but this row's got quite a few. There's another 2 rows up there which have got quite a few in, so we should have some. Now, we're not going to have the numbers like we had last year, but it's better than nothing. So yes, we will be doing the tweeds as well, but just on a smaller scale than last year. How you doing? It is Tuesday afternoon. Just been sorting out some more in the grain shed. So this is the dried grain we dried yesterday in the rain, which did actually work. Just chucked it in there. There was a bit of heat still in it from the dryer because it didn't quite get to finish its cooling cycle because it was raining progressively heavier. So put that in there. That's now going to be the dry grain. This is the grain that's yet to be dried. I've moved both fans over into here now. This side was quite warm, so that fan's working hard. You can smell the moisture coming off it. The rest of the non-dry grain we have now put into the conveyor trailer here. So I think I can use the conveyor trailer, which has this lovely thing at the back. So this is hydraulically driven conveyor through that, which allows us to unload it a bit easier. It did used to be electrically driven, but we've changed it to hydraulic, so it can run off the back of the tractor. We don't have to have electrics. That's got probably 5 tonne of barley in it. You'll notice there's tractors missing. We've had to move tractors around because obviously we've got one tractor on the dryer, and the mill's missing because someone's borrowed the mill. So bit of a mess on the floor in here. Someone else was hauling the stuff down to the dryer for me yesterday, and not quite as clean as me. So I'm going to get the sweeper on today, possibly, I'll see, and just push this back into the pile to keep the floor nice and clean. Stuff going out wise, we've not really got an awful lot to go out. Everything else is kind of here. We'll be running up stuff in the coming weeks. I've just had someone actually ask for 7 tonne of barley, but they're going to have to provide the barley because although we've got about 60 tonne here, 60 tonne of barley, maybe not even that much because someone did take a load. This is all set aside for someone. We have got about another 120 tonne coming in, which will give us just shy of 200 tonne in total. I'm not quite sure where the rest of it is going to go. We might have to start using the end bay, move some stuff out, but just going to need to be careful with the rain coming in. I might move that petition over there to help protect against that. But yes, so all go, not an awful lot. Sorry, it is a bit moist is the air in here from the fans. Not an awful lot else going on today. The weather has been absolutely shocking today, so I've been in here most of the day trying to hide. Well, not hide, I've been doing stuff, but just keeping out of the weather. I do have some sunflowers to go harvest because we now have our, well, this was somewhere else, but the galvanised bucket, there we go, that's now going to be going up to the Little Meadow Farm to be used on their honesty box up there rather than the mop bucket which is currently up there because it looks naff. Got some more of them coming on. Unfortunately, the place we did have them, we've had to pull the stuff out because the people in charge didn't allow it. So you know, that's a shame, but we'll see what we can do. I think we're going to try and do an ordering system through them for bits of veggies and all sorts. So we'll go see where that goes. Just had a chat with someone about when we're actually doing the pumpkin open day and possibly some other ideas which we might be able to tie in. So you'll find out about them in due course. But yes, so we shall see you later. morning. It is Thursday now, and just having one of those moments where I went to go get the camera to do a video and I can't find it. So this is on the phone. I don't think it's in there, but could be. I'm trying to remember what I did with it last. I had it in the top shed whilst I was sorting out filling that trailer with that handler, but it doesn't seem to be in either of them. So I really don't have a clue what I've done with it. So I'm going to continue having a look around, but I am doing more drying today, so it's not actually raining today because it all got a bit crazy at the end of. Just have a look behind the seat. No, not that. It all got a little bit crazy at the end of, what day was it? Monday, Tuesday maybe? That was drying because it started raining, and it started raining pretty heavy. So, oh no, sorry, that was on the Monday. On the Tuesday I filled the trailer ready, so I was sorting that out. So I'm hoping the camera is somewhere up in the top shed, because if I've lost it, that's going to be a bit of a shame, because that's got all this week's footage on it. Not that there was an awful lot, you know. I've been mostly hiding out of the rain for a vast amount of the week, because so far the weather's so far the weather's been absolutely terrible. We have just worked out we had 5.5 inches of rain on the field over July, which is a ridiculous amount. That's a lot of rain. So yeah, we'll hopefully find the camera and I'll catch up with you later. So after a bit of a moment, I found you. You're on the mower. A bit mucky though. Hang on. Almost. There we go. That's a bit better. Yeah, I'd left you on the side of the mower and then drove back in the rain from somewhere, so the camera is absolutely filthy. It was one of them I was scratching my head for ages trying to work out where I put this. So, dryer is now full, and big pile of poo. It's not my poo though, I can't have that. That's cow poo. I'm going to collect some horse poo later, because horse poo is good, but that belongs to someone else, does that one. Makes the pickup smell very nice because I have to drive through it. So as I was saying, dryer is now full, so that's on and going. You've seen the big flamey thing and everything, so took a bit of doing because it's now a long way from the grain shed down to here. It is supposed to be under this building, but as I said, it doesn't fit yet. So yeah, it's off on its own, out of the way. But so I'm going to be leaving that going, and that's probably going to take about 4 hours to cook nicely, then it'll be ready. I've got a mower to go pick up today for a job, and need to go have a check on the field, so I'll catch you later at the field. have a take 2 on a video. I just did a really long video explaining what I was doing and realised the battery was flat on the GoPro, so it didn't actually record anything. So just bagging up the veggies here. Now I have just bagged up 8 kilos of potatoes for, there's an event coming up in this coming week, which will be after this video is obviously posted. So today is Saturday morning. We've just had the most cataclysmic rain, but this event's coming up where I've been asked to provide potatoes and some carrots as well, so they're currently in the back of the car now, for a visit from the Lieutenant Governor. Now the Lieutenant Governor is the King's representative on the Isle of Man, so the bags are obviously signed up with potatoes fit for a King's representative. So they're rather small potatoes, with the idea of them being done as kind of mini stuffed cheese jacket potatoes. Sounds really cool. I have been invited to the event as well, so that's going to be pretty wicked. So I won't be doing any videos there, I don't think, so that's probably all you'll see of it. I might talk about it a bit later. Yeah, so these little potatoes are going to be done up. I'm just going to bag up the rest of the stuff here. We've got plenty of things to go at. The old guardhouse are going to be taking some lettuces. You know, these were all harvested yesterday. I've picked some Rocket for him to have a look at, see if he likes it. If he does, there's plenty more. No shortage of carrots. These lovely carrots coming out, all picked yesterday. Oops, just drew them that one with a Sharpie. And loads new potatoes, but I do have a couple of really interesting shaped ones, so I'm going to bag them up as big spuds, because there's a couple which are absolutely perfect for doing the likes of a jacket, although they're a bit different on the skin because these are a charlotte, but I've done them and they seem to work. So I'm just going to get all this lot bagged up. Nice little paper bags. These are waxed on the inside, elastic bands for the veggies. Trying to keep it as plastic free as we can, really. You know, they are just about to bring in the ban on single-use plastics, but I think certain types of food packaging are still allowed. But if we can keep it without, that's fantastic. Paper bags, brilliant. Weighed up on my little kitchen scales. One day I will get a big set of scales and we can do it a bit better. But for now, this is the setup. Right next to my pressure washer. Always good. See you in a bit. Thank you for watching again. Don't forget, like and subscribe, click the bell so you get the notifications, follow us up on social media, and maybe on TikTok too now.